Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending what time of day you're watching this video. My name is William Mugno. I'm doing a presentation on my final English 112 paper, the Hard Talk. Today's date is May 13th, 2025. How do we get into it? So, this paper is about me researching ways to improve my communication skills. The reason I need to improve my communication skills is because it's vitally important for my dream job, which is being a coder. The reason I chose communication as something I need to improve upon was after looking back into my past after conducting an interview for my dream job with Mr. Nathaniel Hewitt for key character qualities for my second paper. Now, you may be asking, why is communication the most vital thing for being a coder? Well, skipped ahead. Because coding does not just involve the use of multiple coding languages, C++, Java, and Python, for example. Each are similar in different ways, so to speak. While they all share the same basic framework, they all are expanded upon in different ways. Like Python, lets you do a little bit more things with scripts. C++ is your basic groundwork. Java, kind of a mix of both. But then you actually got the physical part of explaining your code to another person. Now, it's not just called a coding language for fun. Coding language is a person types a code in a certain way. It's basically like speaking, but you're typing it out on the computer. So being able to properly explain your code to somebody is basically being able to explain how you speak to somebody. Now, for a good quote from my interviewee, imagine being stopped every 5 minutes to be asked a question you thought the audience knew already, or asked to clarify something multiple times because the explanation got too technical for your audience. This is important because you can't be stopping every 5 minutes when you're in the middle of a project or working to answer questions about your own code. You need to be able to explain it in a clear, concise pattern. So, looking back in my past, I was never good at speaking with people. I'm struggling now. I thought I'd improve when I joined the military as a military police officer, because there I had to deal with a lot of situations using my words. But instead of learning to form a connection with people, I more so learned trying to manipulate the situation in my favor, using my authority and just being more of a manipulator than anything else. So, this was from stuff I picked up while learning from other people, but it was also from a book called Verbal Judo. Quote down there is him basically trying to convince somebody not to kill themselves by describing how painful it is. Well, that seems dark. It's saving a life, which was the thing I focused on, unless it was getting the job done. But I was never able to form deep interpersonal connections with people, like my coworkers or other service members who I worked with. So I was often, well, not alone, offcast from other people. And this led to me having issues later on trying to solve problems where I couldn't really use authority or manipulation to get what I needed to do done. Now, better ways to communicate. So I looked for answers, and a lot of them I found in the healthcare field due to the high volume of A, complex medical knowledge needed to actually perform the job, and B, the wide variety of knowledge within the community. That ranges from doctors to nurses to technicians, all the way down to your patients. First paper I found was the Conversation Analysis-Based Simulation, or the CABS method. This was used to simulate stressful environments, stressful situations for staff, so they could learn to work under stressful situations while being able to talk with each other using complex knowledge. So, someone is being rushed into the ER because they got into a car accident and they're bleeding out. The nurses are trained to perform their tasks at a level where they can still do the task, but able to efficiently communicate with each other while not leaving anything out. Next study is the critical care study by Arnold. This is a quote from him. This study was focused on finding the problem areas that doctors and nurses faces while working with patients or technicians who don't have the same level of medical knowledge they have in a certain area. A lot of these problems were found that the nurses and doctors were unable to adjust the technical level of the topic to the situation. So, such as person has cancer, they're unable to lower the technicality of it, so that the person's just there scared and afraid and they're not feeling any better, instead of being able to dumb it down, so to speak, for the person. Now, after looking at these and my interview with Nathaniel Hewitt, I've come up with a multi-stage plan. It's mostly 3 steps with an extra step at the end, but 3 sections are the crawl, the walk, and the run phases. That's what I mean. First stage of the plan is the crawl. So this is basically me speaking to a mirror alone, or recording myself so I can practice speaking for a mirror. I did this a lot while actually preparing for this essay. It may or may not seem like it, depending on how this goes. But this is basically a way for me to practice getting my words straight before actually doing things. This is an issue I run into personally, is my brain works faster than my mouth. So a lot of times what will happen is I will speak like 5 different things at once and nobody will understand what I'm talking about. This will also allow me to start practicing doing menial tasks while talking to, say, the mirror or an inanimate object, so I can practice doing those simple and complex tasks while being able to devote enough brain power to actually speaking to another person. The next stage of the plan is the walk phase. Walking phase is basically joining the public speaking / debate club, getting better at learning body language. This I'm not so bad at due to my military police background, but you can always improve. Now, the reason I'm including learning body language is so I can better identify my audience, seeing if I need to be more upfront, more direct, or back off and be a bit more kinder, a bit more soft in my approach. And debate clubs / public speaking classes are good for this, since this gets me out of my comfort zone and allows me to put what I've learned in the crawl phase into practice here, such as now. And I'll be able to mess out without being judged too harshly for it. Probably a little bit of embarrassment here and there, but the final stage of the plan is the run phase. Get it? Running group? Yeah. This is where I join a public group or activity, so I put everything I learned together and practice. I already started this, actually, by going to a local card shop and playing games with them. May not be good at it, but it's at least getting me out of the house. Alright? This will also allow me to put into practice the things I've learned in the crawl and walk phases. Now, my extra step is the dress to impress step. While it may not seem like an important part of communication, people will listen and respond better to different outfits and dressing styles depending on the situation. You're not going to listen to somebody who's in sports gear if you're at a meeting for a CEO. You're also not going to listen to somebody if they're in a suit at a sports game. You're going to be confused because it makes no sense why someone dressed either so nicely or so badly is at that specific event. This will also allow me to differentiate between the groups and plan my words and styles accordingly. You're not going to talk the same way to a bunch of engineering technical people, the same way you're going to talk to CEOs / business people. They both have different skill sets. While they may be in the same field, they are in it for vitally different reasons. Conclusion. I've identified where I need to improve my communication skills. I have the plan. Next, I've developed a plan to obtain those goals. Check. The plan. Now, the final, most important thing. Communication is a learned skill. You cannot stop learning it. It's like you may stop. It's like riding a bike with the rust. It's like being rusty at riding a bike. You cannot stop learning how to improve your communication skills. It's not something that just goes away, but it is something that you constantly need to improve on so that you can make it work. Because it is a tangible skill. Now this is my works cited page. My works cited continue. Thank you for sitting through this presentation. I hope you have a wonderful day, weekend, and you have a good rest of your day.